So I wanted to share a little bit about the strengths and the interest and the skills that I discovered by doing a few of the personality tools and especially the Gallup Strengths Finder. So I know that this was a paid one, and I've been trying to work with them as in a way to get some sort of discount or get some free options. And if I get those, I'll pass those along to you. But this was well worth it. So my top five strengths that I discovered about myself by doing the Gallup Strengths Finder poll is individualization, a relator, developer, intellection, and ideation. Okay? So, individualization is something that I didn't really know before. I thought it meant that I was really focused on myself. But what it actually means is that I'm I'm very good at recognizing the unique traits and qualities and strengths and skills in other people. So I recognize people for their unique selves. And this was sort of mind-blowing to me because one of my firm beliefs in life that I've always kind of a guiding principle in my life has always been that each person has their own unique experience. And I see that now. I have two young boys, and they are living in the same house, in the same very situation. They're eating the same meals, they have the same parents. It's very stable. However, it is impossible for the younger child to have the same experience as the older child because the world was different. The first child, my son Zach, he didn't have an older brother to play with and learn from and be his guiding light. And so this really just resonated with me to understand that somebody from the same town, the same uh, economic standpoint, the same family, as granular as you want to get, like two kids living in the same household, they're going to be completely different people. And so I believe that about all of you. And this has a lot to do with today's challenge is to, or today's topic of creative challenges, because there are people probably doing something very similar to what you're doing. It is near impossible that there is nobody else in the world with a similar thought, putting out a similar course, uh, studying the same materials, writing similar things, but you need to get over that challenge. That's okay. It's okay that other people are out there doing similar things because you need to control your narrative. And so, again, those tools about defining your voice, and what we talked about yesterday was that, 99% of what you do exists somehow out in the world, but that unique 1% is you. And individualization being my top strength is sort of a reason why it's led to me teaching online and helping people in this way. So, relator and developer, these are very related. I can relate to other people. Again, that ties into the individualization. Developer, I really love getting in there and teaching with people and being hands on to know that there is progress and to know that, time exists, evolution is happening, everything in the world is changing around us all the time. And so if we shine that light on ourselves, we are also evolving at the same time. Moving on to intellection, that just means that I need some time and space to think. Um, I do meditate, I do journal, and these things definitely help with the creative challenge because it helps just sort of get the ideas out of your mind and flowing. And especially when you have something like a journal happening, uh, piecing together the weekly thoughts, sort of doing like a roundup of what you've been thinking about for the last week has been monumental to my progress of these creative challenges and figuring out exactly what sort of value that I can bring to the world. Moving on to ideation, this is a big creative challenge here. This is a big creative point. is that I come up with a lot of ideas, okay? That doesn't mean that I execute on any of them. That doesn't mean that they all become something. I don't have 90 businesses. I don't, um, like some people do. I'll share a story of somebody that I'm acquainted with who has 40 product projects that he has worked on and sold, continued to work on, totally shut down over the last like 5 years. Now that's amazing. It's also like, some people think that you need to have one thing that you do, but this idea of ideation just means coming up with a lot of ideas, because ideas will never run out. A lot of people in the artistic world or the creative world, say like a writer in Hollywood, they get worried that their big idea, they're the thing that they've been attached to and working on for so long, just, that weighs heavily on somebody when you think that you have one good idea. So this ideation tool is very simple. It's about every single day making sure that you have 10 ideas. Doesn't matter how big or small they are. But what the purpose of that tool is to understand that ideas generate momentum for more ideas. Being creative spurs more creativity. And so the creative challenge is understanding that. It's understanding that when you get into this creative mode of taking the ideas from your head or your notes and putting them out into the world, it's understanding that your big idea, your big article doesn't need to be a 5-page researched essay and hit publish and expect these great things. Once again, expectations. I've heard a few people in this group have talked about how they posted something and it got a lot of traction, and that changed their mind about what they might be able to do. And so these ideas, making sure that you're having these ideas on a daily basis is key, because you can be in a creative rut. You can have a thing called writer's block, but what it is it's a mental challenge. Okay, it's an emotional thing that you need to overcome, and how you're going to overcome it is looking back at the last 3 days and seeing 30 different ideas on the paper. Maybe one or two of them become the thing that you work on for the next couple weeks. Okay.